Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons. We're going to talk about keys from the Golden Vault, and we're specifically going to talk about the location Revel's End, a very important, a critical, a historically important Dungeons & Dragons location that now spans 3 Dungeons & Dragons products. All right, okay. So let's talk about Revel's End. So first of all, keys from the Golden Vaults has been announced. Very exciting. You can get early digital access on February 7th by buying the bundle. And then you'll get the physical book is going to be available on February 21st. And so it was announced, and there was this great video where Chris Perkins and Amanda Heyman, right? So we have to understand Dungeons & Dragons. Let's talk about Artor theory. Okay, what is Artor theory? It's where you take a look at the primary vision of a piece of art, and you look at who is bringing it forward, and you look at the work in context to their entire body of work, right? And so when we look at keys from the Golden Vault, you're looking at Christopher Perkins' work, you're looking at Amanda Heyman's work, right? And they come from a legacy of powerful Artors who are handing Dungeons & Dragons down from one person to the next. And so the chain has been, right, Gary Gygax, straight to Lorraine Williams, straight to Ryan Dancy, straight to Robert Heinsohn, straight to Christopher Perkins, and straight to Amanda Heyman, right? There is an art, and these are the primary visionary, these are the prime visionaries of Dungeons & Dragons through time, right? And so keys from the Golden Vault now drops into place, and we see it, we have it, right? And we look at Revel's End, all right? And I just and it's incredible because when you talk about the history of Dungeons & Dragons, are you talking about the history of the setting, or are you talking about the history of Dungeons & Dragons itself? And are those incredibly, massively connected, right? Like, are they really just massively connected in many, many ways, right? I'm actually of the theory that Dungeons & Dragons is incredibly important it's one of the few products where its lore history actually links very directly to its IRL history, right? Bigger topic, we'll explore that sometime in the future. Let's talk about Revel's End, right? So what is Revel's End? So let's talk about the geography of Revel's End, all right? The geography of Revel's End is it is in the setting of Forgotten Realms. Forgotten Realms right now is the default setting of Dungeons & Dragons, okay? It is in the world of Toril, Toril, right? It is in, and Toril is in the, is specifically in, and then within Toril, the world, so setting Forgotten Realms, world Toril, okay? Then the next step that you reach, okay, is you reach the point where you are now within Icewind Dale, which is the area, okay? Actually, I'm sorry, let's say the region of Icewind Dale. Then the locale is the shores of the Sea of Moving Ice, okay? Then from the Seas of Moving Ice, we move further, right? And we actually get to Revel's End itself. And Revel's End is a Lord's Alliance prison, okay? And so it's way up in the super cold area of Icewind Dale, and these are not normal prisoners. So these are someone who has committed a crime, okay, and been convicted of a crime that harmed one of the Lord's Alliance members. So these are mostly cities like Winterdeep, Neverwinter, Mirabar, Mithril Hall, these really specific cities and some towns within the Lord's Alliance, right? And so basically, and not only, so these are people, and all those cities could have their own prisons, right? They can keep those prisoners to themselves. These are prisoners specifically that they want out of the way. They want it very difficult for these prisoners to be accessed. And some of these are political prisoners where if they were kept within within a prison within those cities, they would be able to massively influence those cities. And here you could absolutely see, like, this is what I'm talking about, Artur theory, right? You're talking about deep politics that are coming from 4 decades of lore, of D&D lore, right? And you're not going to see anything like this on OSE. You're not going to see anything like this on DCC. You're not going to see anything like this on Pathfinder, right? They just don't have, they don't have the legacy. They don't have the decades, right? And that's the issue, right? And frankly, they don't have the innovation or the passion or the love. It's all their products are, it's, now we know, right? These products have significant hateful people within them because now, see, like, what did we really see in the OGL controversy, which I call the 2023 Manic Panic? You saw, like, there were people who said Hasbro showed its whole $dollar sign, right? And they're like, we learned that Hasbro was a corporation. You're like, you just learned that, right? You know what I learned? I learned that you guys got a bunch of villains up in your OGL group. You got a bunch of villains up in your OSR group, and you got a bunch of villains within the Orc group, right? And these are people who literally want to burn D&D to ash, figuratively and literally. Like, they want to connect to the people who did it literally in 1983. They want to do it digitally now, right? But they want D&D gone, right? The D&D be gone, right? And I really appreciate you guys' patience, me talking about this, because I cannot let it be forgotten. And boy, is it getting swept under the rug. D&D, the Dungeon Dudes, and Tejas Abadia and Sean Merwin recently talked about the OGL controversy without even mentioning D&D Be Gone. That is revisionism at its worst, right? And I'm not going to stand by for revisionism. I'm not, all right. So, Revel's End, incredibly. So you have these political prisoners, right? And I'm watching a show. I would highly recommend it. It's called Mayor of Kingstown, and it says the outside is controlled from the inside. And it talks about how criminals in prison are often more influential than criminals outside of prison, right? Deep subject, right? And that's exactly what you're seeing discussed in Keys from the Golden Vault with the location of Revel's End. But here's where it really gets interesting. Revel's End is not a regular prison in that, and this isn't even a regular location. Revel's End spans 3 Dungeons & Dragons products. It spans Icewind Dale, it spans Keys from the Golden Vault, and it's going to span Honor Among Thieves when it hits in March, right? That's huge, right? And again, in the OGL controversy of 2023, which I call the 2023 Manic Panic, when it ended, right, on January 28th, it started on January 3rd. Let's get the history right. So basically, what's really fascinating, right, is everybody was, the OGLers, the OSR, and the Orcs were saying, did we win, right? I'm going to ask that question now. Did D&D just win with Keys from the Golden Vault? Well, for defying the D&D Be Gone villains, yes, it won there. How else did it win? By saying, our lore is so deep, and our bean counters and our C-level executives are so powerful that we can have 2 D&D Canon hardbacks that link directly to an American blockbuster, right? Where's your blockbuster link, OSC? Where's your blockbuster link, DCC? Where's your blockbuster link, Pathfinder? Oh, all top 3 games in the OSR space, ain't one of them got nothing. That's a win. That's how you win, right? You don't win by making sure another group doesn't exist. Right? And it's shocking I need to tell people this, right? You win by making awesome. And that's what D&D does every day. And that's why all these D&D Be Gone villains are crawling back to cover Dungeons & Dragons, right? Because Dungeons & Dragons errata beats OSR's greatest achievements. Every word of that is my humble opinion. What's really important is when I get your humble opinion in the comments below. Please consider subscribing and have a wonderful millennium.